Hey folks, so today we're going to move through a top to toe body sequence. It's one of my favourite sequences to take. It uses controlled articular rotations through each part of the body, which basically means we're taking active circular movements. And it's a great practice just to help keep our joints really healthy. It will support our yoga practice, any other movement practices that we might have. I'm going to take you through a couple of rounds of each movement, but if you have more time, I would definitely advise taking 3 or 4 rounds of each movement to each side. But equally, if you're short on time, just take 1 round of movement, 1 round of each of these movements to each side. It's really going to pay dividends over the longer term. Your body's really going to thank you for incorporating this into your kind of daily life and your daily movement practice. For the first few movements, I'm going to take it from this kneeling position. I'm just sat with a block between my sit bones and the heels, but you can also take these movements from a standing position if that feels more comfortable for your knees, your hips, your ankles. And we're going to begin at the top of the body with the neck. So just find an upright position, whether that be kneeling, whether that be standing, and then begin by drawing your chin down towards your chest. And then from there, we're going to slide the chin up the right collarbone towards the right shoulder, and the right ear down. So we're bringing some length through the left side of the neck. Now we're going to keep the back of the neck long here as we roll through center. From there we drop the left ear to the shoulder. We turn the head to look to the left side wall. And then we slide the chin down the left collarbone to the chest. And then back to neutral, lifting your gaze forwards. So let's take a round in the opposite direction. We'll bring the chin towards the body. We'll slide the chin up the left collarbone. Turn to look to the left side, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. And then keep the back of the neck long as we roll through center. As we drop the right ear down, we'll turn the head to the right and we'll slide the chin now down the right collarbone to the chest and lift the gaze up once more. So that's your neck rotation. And as I say, we're going to take 1 round each side today, but I'd advise taking 2 or 3 rounds in either direction. Let's move to the trunk. So we're going to take some rotations through the trunk. Let's begin by giving ourselves a big hug around the shoulders, and then keeping the lower back more or less neutral, we're just going to curl the upper spine. So you look down towards your knees or towards your toes if you're in a standing position, and then from here we'll start to twist around to the right. So find your twist and then start to lower the right shoulder. Keep the lower back long as we roll through center, so lift the chest towards the ceiling, all the way to the second side, dropping the left shoulder, twisting around to the left, and then rolling back to center from there. Let's come up to neutral. You might switch up the cross of the arms, so give yourself a hug with the other arm on top, and again we begin to curl through the upper back, really spacing between the upper vertebrae, and from here we'll take a twist around to the left. We'll lower the left shoulder. Keep the lower back long as you roll through your midline. Right shoulder drops down. We'll twist around to the right and then we'll roll through center again. Let's come up to neutral, and from there we can release the arms alongside the body. Now if you're standing up, you can stretch the fingers long. We're going to take some movements into the shoulders. Because I'm closer to the ground, I'm going to bunch my fists, but we want the arms to stay alongside the body here, so we're not moving the arms forwards and back, and we want the elbows to stay more or less locked as well. And then from this neutral position, let's draw the shoulders up towards the ears and then squeeze the shoulder blades back. And again, notice if the arms are kind of traveling forwards and back. With the shoulders squeezing back, let's slide the shoulders down. And then with the shoulders down, we'll roll the shoulders forwards, we'll lift the shoulders up, and then we'll come back to center. So let's take a round in the opposite direction. Shoulders are staying lifted. We'll roll the shoulders forwards, we'll slide the shoulders down, and we'll squeeze those shoulders back. With the shoulders back, let's lift the shoulders up towards the ears, and then allow the shoulders to settle. So we took 1 round in either direction. If you have time, take another 2 or 3 rounds of that movement before we move on to the shoulder joint itself, so the point at which the shoulder meets the torso. I'm going to begin with this right side. So with the left hand, I'm going to make a fist as well. So keep some strength through the left arm, a little bit of tension and tone. And as I make a fist with the right hand, I'm going to reach the right arm all the way up overhead. Now, a few things to watch here. Just notice if you're dropping into the lower back. We want the movement to come from the shoulder, not from the spine. So let's keep that spine neutral, a little tone in the belly. And as we begin to take this movement, we want the torso to stay facing directly forwards. We want to try and avoid a rotation of the torso around to that right side. So let's stretch up through the knuckles or the fingertips and then begin to circle the arm back behind you. And as you do, we're going to turn the knuckles out. So the inner wrist is facing out to the side. Keep circling all the way back. Keep rotating along the length of the arm. So when your arm comes alongside your hip, the back of the knuckles are turned in towards that right hip. And then from here, keeping that internal rotation here of the arm, we're going to lift the right arm back. And once you find that the lift, once you find the point at which you don't think you can move any further, we rotate the arm around and we circle the arm all the way back up to that top position. Let's take a second round of this to the right side. So reaching up with the arm, beginning to circle the arm back and rotating along the length of the right arm as you do so. Make a generous circular movement. So when the arm settles alongside the hip, the back of the hand, the back knuckles are turned in towards the body. Now from here, we'll start to draw that arm back in space. Once you reach that natural stopping point, we rotate around through the arm again, inner elbow rotating up towards the sky, and we bring that right arm all the way up to that top position. And then from there, we can release the right arm all the way down. Let's switch around to the left side. So I'll switch sides so you can see once again what I'm doing. So make a fist with the right hand, make the right arm strong, get some tone in the belly, make a fist with the left hand. We'll sweep the left arm up to the sky. Begin to circle the left arm back. Notice if the elbow wants to bend, so let's keep that elbow long and strong. Again, we're rotating along the length of the arm, so the back of the knuckles turn in towards the body. From here, we'll reverse. We'll reach the arm back, find that stopping point, rotate around, bring that arm all the way up to the top position. Reset, reach a little taller. Let's take one more round this side. Rotating along the length of the arm, circling back in space, all the way down and alongside the body. And from here, we'll reverse one more time. Reach back, rotate around, and sweep that arm all the way up to the sky from there. And then we can release. Let's take the left arm down. Keep moving down the arms. So we're going to move to the elbows next. Okay, so we're staying with the arms. I'm going to take this movement from an upright kneeling position. Let's begin with the hands facing forwards, and then from there, a little shrug of the shoulders back. We'll bring the hands up towards the shoulders and keep the elbows squeezing in. We'll turn the palms the opposite direction in towards the body, move the hands away from center, circle wide, down and around alongside the body, and from there we turn the palms, the backs of the palms forwards again. Let's take another round in this direction, lifting the hands up, rotating out, down and around, back through center, and then we'll change the direction of those circles. So let's turn the palms forwards, hands draw out, up, in and down. Just one more round this side, rotating big circular movement with those elbows. And once we come down, we can release those arms. I'm going to return to my kneeling position, to my upright kneeling position, and we'll take some movements into the wrists. So for these movements, we want to keep the palms flat. You might find there's a tendency as we take these movements to draw the fingers in towards the palm. The other thing you might find is that at certain points, the elbows want to bend more than 90 degrees. So we're going to try and keep our elbows at something like 90 degrees. So the lower arm, the forearm, is more or less parallel to the floor. And see if you can keep the inner forearm pointing up to the sky. The other thing that sometimes happens is that the forearm wants to rotate down to face the floor. So let's find our start position. Both hands are flat. Bring your awareness to the second finger. So imagine you're drawing circles with the second finger. We're going to draw the second fingers in towards center, then rotate them down to face the floor, a little bit away from center, back to neutral, and then draw the palms in towards the forearms. But again, try to avoid the tendency to lessen the angle between the forearm and the upper arm, and to scrunch the fingers in towards the palms. Let's reset. We're going to draw a circle in the opposite direction. So draw the fingers away from center, rotate out, down, around, and back to center from there. Let's take one more round in each direction. Fingers draw in, rotate down, out, around, and up. And then from there we rotate out again, all the way back from where we came. Let's draw the hands in one more time. Bring the palms back to neutral. You might want to give those hands a little shake out. It can feel quite intense, those movements for the muscles along the forearms. So that's pretty much the upper body done. Let's move to the lower body. We're going to start with the hip joints. So we can transition now to an all fours position. So come to just a neutral all fours position. We want to keep a tabletop here, so we're not taking a cat stretch or a dog tilt. We're just taking a neutral all fours position. With some pressure down through the palms, let's bring this right knee in towards the belly. And then from there, we're going to lift the right leg out to the side. And rather than dropping the foot to the floor, let's see if we can keep the outer ankle lifted. The pelvis is balanced, so I'm trying not to lift that right side of the pelvis. And from there, I'll draw the right leg back in space, rotate the knee down towards the floor, and then bring the right knee in towards the chest, but again, without rounding the back. We reverse the circle from here. So we keep that right knee bent as we lift the heel, as we lift the knee. We rotate the knee out to the side. Again, the outer ankle stays lifted. Draw that right knee forwards, back to center. We'll set the right knee down onto the floor from there. I'm just going to take one round of those movements to each side for today. If you have time, take 2 more rounds to the right side. We're going to switch to the left side next. So once you've taken all of your rotations to the right side hip, we're going to reset the hands and we're going to move over to that left side. So again, keep the spine neutral. Bring the left knee in towards the chest. Lift the left leg out to the side. Pelvis is balanced. We start to draw the left knee back in space. Keeping the knee bent, we rotate it to the floor. Back towards the belly from there. And then we reverse. We lift the heel and the knee. We'll rotate the knee out to the side and we'll draw the knee forwards in space. Back to center. We set the left knee down onto the floor. That completes our hip actions, our hip rotations. So take as many as you have time for. 2 or 3 rounds to each side. We're going to move down the legs to the knees next. So for this rotation in the knee, with the left leg for now, it can just do what it wants to do. It can flop out, it can go long, whichever is your preference. With the right leg, we're going to hook the right arm underneath the back of the right knee. And we're going to hold the right wrist with the left hand. Let's make this ankle active, drawing the foot back towards the shin. And then we'll lean back just a little bit so that the foot is lifting from the floor. We're going to work to find a rotation through the whole of the lower right leg at one time. What we want to try to avoid is the ankle moving independently of the shin. So let's draw the shin back towards, draw the foot back towards the shin and then rotate the shin in to center. Lengthen the leg just a little, doesn't have to be fully long. You can see my knee's still quite bent. And then rotate the whole of the shin out from center, bend the knee again, come back to your midline. Let's take another round this direction. Turn the shin in, lengthen the leg, rotate out, bend the knee, we return to that neutral position, and then we change the direction. So we turn the shin out, we lengthen the leg a bit, we turn the shin in, we bend the knee, we come back to neutral, keep moving. 1 more round this side. Okay, let's switch over to the left side. So again, we're going to hook the left arm underneath the left knee. Catch the left wrist with the right hand, lean back to lift the foot, make the foot active, drawing back to the shin. We're going to turn the shin and the ankle in, lengthen the leg, turn the shin and the ankle out, bend the knee. 1 more round this direction, turning the whole lower limb in, whole lower limb out. And then once we return to neutral, we'll change that direction. Shin turns out, leg lengthens, shin turns in, knee bends. 1 more time. Turn the shin out, lengthen, turn in, and then back to neutral. Okay, so lastly, moving down to the feet, to the ankles and the toes. We're going to take a very similar position that we just took for the knee rotation. So we'll hook the right arm underneath the right knee, we'll lean back, we'll hold the right wrist with the left hand. We're going to keep the shin neutral this time, so the shin won't move, the shin won't rotate, the movement is coming from the ankle joint. So we're going to imagine we're drawing circles in the air with the big toe. Let's begin by drawing the top of the foot back to the shin, and then we'll rotate the sole of the foot into center. This is where the toe starts to circle out, down. From the down position, we rotate the sole of the foot slightly out, and then back to that start position. Let's change the direction. So rotate the sole of the foot out, draw the circle with the foot, down, foot turns in, we come back to center, and we'll take one more round in either direction. Turn the foot in, make that big circular movement with the foot, and then again, one last time, opposite direction, and we come back from there. Release the right foot down. Take the left leg into position. So again, arm under knee, you can hold the wrist, you can hold the left knee, whichever is your preference. Draw the left foot back to the shin, rotate the sole of the foot in, draw your big circle with your toe, back to center, and then reverse. Drawing that circle in the opposite direction. You might feel it feels just a little different one side to the other. One more round, maybe it feels a little stickier, a little more jagged one direction to the other, or one foot to the other. Okay, let's come back to neutral. Release the left foot down, and then lastly we'll take some movements for the toes. So I'm sitting back against the wall here so you can see what I'm doing with the feet. I'm going to begin by getting a good connection with the big toe knuckles, the little toe knuckles on the floor, and then I'll lift all 10 toes away from the mat. With these 4 smaller toes still lifted, I'm going to tap just the big toes down, lift the big toes up, and then tap the 4 toes down. And then we lift the 4 toes, tap the big toes, lift the big toes, tap the 4 toes, lift those 4 toes one more time, big toes, lift, 4 toes, and lift. Now from here we're going to play the piano from little toe to big toe, so just rolling the toes down towards the mat a few times. This takes a bit of practice, takes some concentration as well. So just do what you can do, and the movements will come over time, I'm sure. Okay, just one more time, and then we can relax those feet. So that concludes our top to toe mobility practice. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, of course, do feel free to get in touch. And as I said at the start of the video, if you can make this a regular part of your practice, if you can take this practice daily or at least 2 or 3 times a week, it's really going to help to sustain your yoga and your other movement practices as you go forwards. So go well, enjoy practice, and I'll see you soon.